Dr. S. G. V. Subramaniam is currently working as professor in the Environmental Studies Department of Anna University, Chennai. He has done 8 master's degrees including MBA, 6 postgraduate diplomas, a degree in law and Doctor of Philosophy in the field of environmental management and environmental law. He has done his postdoctoral work in France under the Indo-French Cultural Exchange Fellowship and at Germany under the DAD Fellowship. He has been awarded UN Fellowship and done Diploma in International Lawmaking and Diplomacy from the University of Joensuu, Finland. He is involved in several environmental impact assessment related consultancy works. He has guided several students for their master's degree program project works. To his credit, nearly 77 papers have been published and presented in various national and international conferences. He has been nominated by His Excellency Governor of Tamil Nadu as Senate member for 2 terms to the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. He has been nominated as expert member for the State Environmental Appraisal Committee for 2 terms by the Government of India. He has served as member board of studies in the Legal Studies Department of University of Madras. Right now, he has been nominated as member board of studies in the field of environmental studies in the Thiruvalluvar University. He has written several chapters in the leading books in the field of environmental law.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series on environmental science. This is the implications of the climate change for India, part 5 we are going to see now. The contents of this today's program: remedying of the global warming, reasons for the carbon dioxide fluctuations, global trading market and various energy savers. You see, the first slide shows the carbon bleaching. How the carbon bleaching has taken place in the coral reef. You could have seen in the picture. Can you be able to see this? How that bleaching has taken place because of the increase in the carbon dioxide concentration in the coral areas or in the coral reef. In India, we are getting the coral reef near the southern part of India, Tamil Nadu at Rameshwaram, and in the world, the maximum number of the coral reef is present in the Australia, namely the Great Barrier Reef. You can see the pictures how the coral bleaching has taken place because of the change in the climate, or because of the change in the carbon dioxide concentration, or because of the global warming. Now, the second effect, the frequency and intensity of the severe storms and cyclones. This is also because of the greenhouse gases and because of the global warming. Now, what are the remedies available? The first one, this is the carbon dioxide, which is the major sink for the carbon dioxide, is supposed to be the plants. In the picture 1, it clearly shows during the time of the photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide is taken inside and oxygen is released. Now, you can see in the second picture, the light, and it comes in the water, then the carbon dioxide, and by virtue of the presence of the chloroplast in the leaves, the plants can be able to synthesize the food in the process of the photosynthesis. The photosynthesis consists of the 2 reactions. Number 1, light reaction. Another one is the dark reaction. A light reaction is one which takes place in the presence of light, and the dark reaction is the one which can take place even in the absence of light. That does not mean that it will take place only in the absence of light. It shows even in the absence of light this reaction takes place, or it can be said that it takes place both in the presence of light as well as in the absence of light. Now, in the manufacture of the sugar, the cycle is called the Calvin cycle. The carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light and the chloroplast, it is being converted into the glucose, and the oxygen is one of the byproduct which is released. Now, can you not say that the plants act during the process of the photosynthesis, it did not act as a carbon sink and absorbing the carbon dioxide for the purpose of the photosynthesis and converting into the carbohydrates. Now, what are the various processes available for the purpose of the global remedying the global warming? Number 1, greening of the globe can save the planet and its life. 600 million hectares of the forest is necessary to prevent the global warming. In fact, every country should have at least 33% of the land must cover with the forest area. Why? Because the canopy of the forest acts as a major carbon sink, and it absorbs the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, with the result that carbon dioxide is converted in the form of a glucose or in the form of a sugar. So, it is a food material which is available, and secondly, that whatever the detrimental thing which is happening in the atmosphere by virtue of the presence of the carbon dioxide, that is also averted and it is also minimized for that matter. The extent of the forest we lost since the World War II has to be compensated, and at present we require at least 600 million hectares of the forest cover for the entire global area. Then number 2, enriching the oceans with iron could help phytoplankton to absorb more carbon dioxide, and locking of the carbon dioxide in tropical forest biomass is the only effective remedy carbon capturing and carbon burying. You see this carbon capturing. Carbon capturing is nothing but that is the plants could able to absorb the carbon dioxide. It is the carbon capturing. And carbon burying. Carbon burying is nothing but we are injecting the carbon dioxide into the earth. Now, the third one, switching over to the carbon free fuels, carbon pooling and the mass transport. What is the mass transport? If a single person is driving in the car, he is sending out large amount of the carbon dioxide or the greenhouse gases. But on the other hand, if more people are joined together either going in the car or in the form of the mass transport, the quantum or the per capita release of the carbon dioxide is very much lessened. Then cycle and recycle. What is that? The waste which is generated both out of the industrial activity as well as the domestic activity, namely because that municipal solid waste or the industrial waste, that as much as possible it must be cycled or it must be recycled. In fact, I can say that reduce, recycle and respect the environment. Create a market to carbon dioxide. Market to the carbon dioxide means whatever the carbon dioxide which is being released, you market it. In some other industries, the same carbon dioxide is used for some other purpose, means this carbon dioxide not only removed from the atmosphere, but it is also used for some other manufacturing process. Thereby, you are creating a market for the carbon dioxide, number 1. Then second one, the carbon trading. What is the carbon trading? That the industries have been given the license to release this much quantum of the carbon dioxide or the carbon into the atmosphere. Suppose if the industry has gone for a manufacturing process which are of more clean development mechanism or which are of the more advanced level means, then the quantum of the carbon dioxide or the carbon emission is very much reduced. In that case, the industry can sell this the extra carbon to some other industry. With the result, what will happen? That every industry try to get as much as the carbon in their own credit, and that can be sold out. With the result, it can be made into the money for that matter. With the result, the overall carrying capacity of that particular atmosphere is being maintained. Then, carbon dioxide kick the habit towards the low carbon economies. This is what the theme which was the World Environment Day for the World Environment Day theme in the year 2008. The next one, adopting low carbon lifestyles. Then vegetarian diets, no car days, no car incentives and no nighttime games. For example, in the tropical countries where we can able to get the sunlight at least not less than 12 hours, if you are conducting the games at the night time means again you are wasting a large quantum of the electricity. When the electricity is being wasted or the electricity is being used for the purpose where it is not required, where the electricity is being produced there at the thermal plant, you are emitting more amount of the carbon or you are adding more amount of the carbon dioxide or the greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So, that's how we are advocating no nighttime games and no car days. In some of the countries, they said in those particular day at the particular area where no cars are allowed. With the result, there will not be any automobile emission on the particular area on the particular day. And similarly, no car incentives. You are having a car, you may be having a car, 2 or 3 cars, but if you could be able to choose a mass rapid transport system, then you will be given some sort of an incentive for not utilizing your car for that matter. Then, to tackle the global warming, we have to chant 3 mantras. What are those 3 mantras? Number 1, green cover. What is that green cover? Increasing in the forest area. Increasing in the forest area means, I have already told you, it is the mandatory requirement for any country to have 1/3 of its land in the forest cover. With the result, there will be a more canopy, and more canopy means more leafy area. More leafy area means more carbon dioxide which is being emitted out of the various activities, either the industrial activities or the domestic activities, or out of the vehicular pollution, which is being captured by the plants, and they will be using it for the manufacture of their own food by the process of the photosynthesis. With the result, on one side there is an increase of the food materials, on another side there is a reduction of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. For that reason, we have to increase and we have to improve the green cover. This is the number one. Then number two, we have to switch over to the green power. Green power in the sense, alternative source of energy which are renewable in nature. Take for example, using the solar energy, using the wind energy, using the tidal energy, using the biogas. These are all the recyclable and they are all renewable source of energy, so that we are lessening or we are not much of the utilizing the perishable or the finite natural resources. Then third one, green technology. Green technology in the sense, we are not only going for the end pipe treatment, but we are integrating clean development mechanism in the process itself. Thereby, we are reducing that effluent as much as possible. This is nothing but the green technology, or other words, we can call it as a clean development mechanism, which is the watchword of today, namely the CDM. Right. Is the carbon dioxide is so bad? No. Carbon dioxide is also, it is not so bad. Carbon dioxide is also responsible for greening the earth. Because if there is no carbon dioxide, means the globe will not be so green in nature for that matter. Because these carbon dioxide only utilized for the photosynthesis purpose by the plants. The second one, it is responsible for the evolution of the life. Then third one, without the carbon dioxide, Earth would have been a cold and a lifeless frozen planet with a minus 18 degrees centigrade. So, what the point I would like to stress here is that you cannot come to the conclusion that the entire carbon dioxide is the harmful to the human being or harmful to the nature. There are certain good things are also because of the carbon dioxide. Those things I have highlighted here. Right. Only thing is, we should not add more quantum of the carbon dioxide, or it should not exceed the carrying capacity of the atmosphere. This is the point I would like to stress here. Then promote the sinks of the carbon dioxide. Whenever you are adding more quantum of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere beyond its carrying capacity on one hand, on another hand, unless otherwise you promote the various sinks of the carbon dioxide, you cannot have a balanced environment for that matter. Now, how to promote the sinks of the carbon dioxide? First one, plants through the photosynthesis. This is what I have already told you, that increasing in the forest cover or increasing in the tree canopy. This is which is the mandatory requirement that I have already told you. 1/3 of the land of every country should be of the forest area. That is 33% of the land must be the forest area. Forest on land and in the ocean and the crops, they will be absorbing the carbon dioxide, which promotes the sinks of the major sink of the carbon dioxide. Second one, calcium carbonate shells and skeletons. At the marine places, lot of marine organisms are there. If you could be able to protect those marine organisms, these organisms in turn directly absorb the carbon dioxide and converted into the calcium carbonate shells and the skeletons for that matter. Then third one, precipitation washes the atmospheric carbon dioxide. Then precipitation. Precipitation is nothing but the rain. Then the fourth one, cold oceanic water solubility and retention of the carbon dioxide is more. So, by these four, we can promote the sinks of the carbon dioxide. Then, reduces the source of carbon dioxide. Number one, respiration. Number two, fermentation. Number three, decomposition. Number four, fossil fuel combustion. Then fifth one, industries, mainly the thermal power plants. automobile, kilns, brick burning, then the waste burning, forest fires. And forest fires can be of the two type. Number one, it may be of the natural or it may be of artificial or the man-made also. Then last one is the deforestation and the warm oceans. So, with this process, we can reduce the sources of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Reasons for the carbon dioxide fluctuations. Recent monthly mean of the carbon dioxide at Mauna Loa. On one side, you plot it parts per million, another side on the horizontal side, namely the year. You could be able to see 2004, 2005, 2006, 7, 8 and 9 and 370, 380, 385, 85. So, there is an increase and slowly decreasing, then it is an increasing for that. Now, northern hemisphere of the earth tilts towards the sun during its spring and summer and become photosynthetically active and sinks more carbon dioxide. The reason being, when the same tilts away from the sun during its fall and winter, the plants shed their leaves and become photosynthetically inactive and stop absorbing the carbon dioxide. This is the reason behind these fluctuations for the absorption of the carbon dioxide. Carbon burying and reinjection. You see this is an artificial method which is recently invented. This is the carbon burying. You are capturing the carbon dioxide and burying into the inside the earth. Can burying of the carbon dioxide slow global warming? But here the only difficulty here is again the cost benefit. If anyone could be able to see the benefit is more, but you have to equate it with the cost, means here the cost is more rather than the benefit. So, for that, instead of going the carbon burying in an artificial way under the earth, by increasing the more forest cover, you can increasing or you are improving the carbon sink, thereby you can reduce the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Then coming to the carbon trading, I have already told you what is the carbon trading. Emissions trading and the carbon credits, carbon trading, carbon sink is equal to money. What is after all a carbon trading? That the industries or the various sources of the industries and the automobiles, they have been given the license that this much amount of the carbon dioxide you can able to emit per annum. Now, if you could switch over to a clean development mechanism, thereby you can reduce the emission of the carbon dioxide or for that matter any of the carbon things into the atmosphere, whatever that quantum you have saved, you can sell it to the other industries. With the result, on one hand you are reducing that carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, on another hand you are able to encash it for that matter. This is what nothing but the carbon trading. Emission carbon trading and the carbon credits. Now, global carbon trading market. If anyone could be able to put it in the pie graph, you can able to see that as a share of the volumes supplied, if you could be able to, this is the data for the 2007, China around 73%, India 6% and the rest of the Asia 5%, Africa 5%, then the Brazil, Latin America 6% and 5%. Baking soda could help to save the planet. Yes, company uses the carbon dioxide emitted from the smoke snacks to make the baking soda. This is the process of the making the baking soda. The system will be powered by waste heat from the factories. Then the soda can be sold for home or industrial use or buried harmlessly into the landfills. Supercritical carbon dioxide as a solvent and propellant. You could be able to see the various pictures where the carbon dioxide is a solvent and the propellant for that. You can able to see 1, 2, 3, 4, all the pictures shows how far that solvent and propellant of the carbon dioxide is being used. Right. The next one, HC fuel from thin air, sunshine to petrol. Yes, that sunshine to petrol, liquid solar fuel, alternative source of the fuel. The normal process is to burn the hydrocarbon and get the carbon dioxide. This is the normal process where we are burning the fossil fuel and that the oxygen is taken from the atmosphere and the carbon is burnt. With the result, the carbon dioxide is emitted and the carbon dioxide is emitted into the atmosphere. This is the normal burning. A possible novel new process would turn the carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide back into the hydrocarbon. CO2, CO and hydrocarbon, just add concentrated sunlight. This is one of the process Now, it is not practiced so heavy, but this is the one of the process which is available. Again, why this is not being practiced so means because the cost benefit we have to work it out. Sometimes the benefit will be less, but the incurring cost, both the investment cost as well as the recurring cost, we have to take into consideration. We have to work it out the economic feasibility for that. If the process may be scientifically, the process is available, but with the economic feasibility is not there, means then again it is not worthwhile to practice for that matter. Then HC fuel from thin air, sunshine, petrol, that researchers shown the Sandia National Laboratories, California, USA is building a prototype chemically re-energize the carbon dioxide into carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide could then be used to make the hydrogen, liquid solar fuel such as the methanol or even gasoline, then diesel and jet fuel. Thus, sunshine to petrol is the end product. Carbon dioxide is converted into the carbon monoxide, and carbon monoxide, the hydrogen, the liquid solar fuel such as the methanol and the gasoline, and thus the sunshine to petrol is the end product. But again, you have to take into consideration the economic feasibility of that. Carbon free fuels, wind energy, wave energy, solar energy. You can able to see in the picture, this is that nothing but the windmills. Here the wind is being used, or that wind which is available, we could be able to tap the wind energy by using the windmills, and that wind energy is being converted into the electrical energy. This is one of the green energy source. Then the next one, the tidal energy, that is the waves and tides. They are causing so much amount of the motion, and that one is being converted into the electrical energy. Again, here it is a renewable one as well as the green energy. Then this is the one, again this is the same thing. The fourth one is the solar energy. In the tropical area, we are getting the sunlight more than 10 hours. If you could be able to trap the solar energy and convert it into the electrical energy and save it, and the same thing which can be used during the night time, means we are using a green fuel, we are going for the moving towards the green technology, and we are not using that any of the perishing and the finite resources, and this is more a renewable energy for that matter. Then the next one, carpooling, cycling and mass transport. This is that mass transport. You can able to see the metro rail or the monorail, that instead of a single person using the car or 2 or 3 persons using the car, if the same persons could be able to travel in any of the mass rapid transport system, means the per capita emission of that one is reduced to a large extent. Then carpooling, instead of a single person traveling in the car alone, you can pool some 4 or 5 people. Today I can use the car, then today these 4 people join together and use A's car. Tomorrow that leave alone that A, B can bring his own car, and C, D, E, F, G, all of them are joined together and use the car. Like that, A, B, C, D, E, F, like that it can be a cyclic one. With the result, there is a pooling. Instead of all the 6 persons individually using the car, that one person is using the car and all other 5s are joined with him, with the result that all the people will be going in the car, but only one car will be there. The emission is very much reduced. This is nothing but the carpooling. Then using of the bicycle is the most green one. There is no fuel is here is used, only the human power is used, and there is no emissions also. And moreover, it is a good physical exercise for the human being also. To strengthen our body system, to strengthen our immune system, the cycling is very, very essential. Instead of going to the gym and practicing the cycling, you can use the cycling on the road. Thereby, you are reducing the emission of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Namely, you are also reducing the contribution of the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Water and sunlight as carbon-free fuels. Goodbye to the dirty fuels. I am using the dirty fuel means because it is derived from the perishable resources, number 1. And number 2, in the process of utilizing the fuel, That is, whatever the technology which is available, it is not so efficient, with the result more quantum of the carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases are being emitted into the atmosphere. That's so I have used the term, namely the dirty fuels. You switch over to the green fuels, hydrogen, then this type of the other recently invented like a solar powered or the wind power, water car, see solar car, hydrogen car. All these things are the green energy sources, or they are not contributing any of the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere on one hand. On the other hand, that they are using only the green energy, that is, they are not utilizing the non-renewable energy, only the renewable energy they are using it. Then energy savers. This is the nothing but the CFL bulbs. You are getting more quantum of the light at the less electricity. You are switching over to the CFL bulbs. Then biodegradable and compostable farm plastics. Again, if you start using these type of the things, you are contributing less amount of contribution of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, right. Then with reference to the climate change, we have got the, at the international level, we have got the climate change convention. After that, in the year 1997, there was a protocol. That protocol is the Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto, it is in Japan. Since the protocol has took place there at the Kyoto, it is called as the Kyoto Protocol. What is that? The heart and soul of the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol was agreed at the third conference of the parties in December 1997 in the Japanese city Kyoto, with the objective of reducing the greenhouse gases that causes the climate change. I have already told you that the Kyoto is in Japan, and this is the protocol with reference to the climate change convention. Then the third one, what was the object and purpose of the conference of parties of the climate change convention was with the sole objective of reducing the greenhouse gases. That greenhouse gases reduction is the ultimate aim or the major aim, but what is the program of action for the purpose of reducing the greenhouse gases? What is the plan of action? This is what being said in the Kyoto Protocol. The program is being drawn that within this year, these developing countries have to reduce this much quantum of the greenhouse gases emitting into the atmosphere. This is what the Kyoto Protocol stresses, right. It entered into the force in the 16th February of the 2005. As of June 2008, 182 countries are the parties and they ratified the protocol. What is the ratification of the protocol? The particular country would have signed the protocol, but unless otherwise this is being approved or ratified in their own country's parliament, this will not come into the force. Now, India was also a signatory for the Kyoto Protocol, and it was also ratified by our Indian Parliament. Then the third one, however, developing countries, nearly 137 developing countries including Brazil, China, India have no obligation beyond monitoring and reporting the emissions. Right. International Cooperation Kyoto Protocol in 1997. The goal of the Kyoto Protocol was that industrialized country should reduce their greenhouse gas emissions at least minimum 5% or between 5 to 8% compared to the 1990 level. That 1990 was put as the benchmark. Why this was put as a benchmark means where the data was available, and what is the target year for the 5% or 5 to 8% is, that is 2012. So, from 1997 the Kyoto Protocol was signed, 1990 was taken as a benchmark and 2012 was taken as a target year. Then, but this would do very little to solve the problem, because you cannot have it an immediate leap or a jump of this. Then second one, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on the Climate Change, namely the IPCC, the emissions have to be cut by 60 to 80% if the climate is to be stabilized. If you wanted to bring back the old climate, if you wanted to stabilize the present climate, you have to reduce the emissions or you have to cut the emissions by 60 to 80%. This is what being stressed in the IPCC report. Then the third one, in November 2004, Russia ratified, but United States has not yet ratified the same. This is the one information I would like to share with you. Now, we will see the summary of what we have discussed in the last half an hour. We have discussed the various remedying process for reducing the global warming. Then secondly, we have seen the various reasons for the carbon dioxide fluctuations in the atmosphere. Then the third one, we have discussed the global trading market and the various energy savers. I have said about what is the carbon trading. Now, I would like to put forth the following questions to you. First, what are the various ways by which the global warming can be reduced? Now, the second question, write the various reasons for carbon dioxide fluctuation in the atmosphere. Then, the third one, what is carbon trading? The fourth one, write the various energy savers. Thank you very much.